And today I want to introduce you to 26-year-old Nabeel Javed, who is doing something quite remarkable. Now, we were hoping to speak to Nabeel last week, but he was rushed into hospital. Let's find out about Nabeel. He joins me now. I'm so excited to talk to you. Nabeel, hello.
Good morning, how are you?
Oh, I'm all right. How are you?
Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better now. I'm feeling loads better. I've been recovering at home for the past week, so yeah, loads better now.
Good. Let's find out about you, Nabeel. Let's talk about what you've got coming up. But first of all, let's talk about something which really has defined your life right from the very start. And that is the genetic blood disorder that you have. So can you give us an idea of what happened when you were younger?
Yeah, definitely. So I was diagnosed with thalassemia major at birth, which is a genetic blood disorder. Which affects my body's ability to produce healthy red blood cells. And this requires me to be sort of life-dependent on monthly blood transfusions and then specific medication to control my iron overload, because with blood transfusions come excessive iron. So it's almost like a vicious circle. So the blood transfusions keep me alive, but then the excessive iron don't do my body any favours, which then I have to have daily medication to fight off that bad iron. To prevent the likes of, organ failure, heart failure, and the likes of those. So I've sort of had it all my life, and it's kind of become part of me now, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it is who you are. It's obviously something that you've had to learn to live with. So you have blood transfusions every month, and you have done all your life?
Yeah, absolutely. So every 3 to 4 weeks, and I've had them. So my first blood transfusion when I was just 3 months old. And then it's been ever since that, really, every 3 to 4 weeks.
And how? I mean, is it pretty rare as a condition?
Yeah, so it is quite rare. It's a genetic blood disorder, so it's passed on depending on if your mum or dad's a sort of carrier. But it's not something widespread, and there's not a great deal of awareness about thalassemia. It's very similar to sickle cell. So sickle cell is normally sort of quite known, but unfortunately sort of thalassemia is quite hidden, and there doesn't seem to be a lot of awareness. I mean, when I'm normally sort of explaining my illness to others, 9 times out of 10 they've never really heard of it.
Yeah, it's something that people will say, oh, okay, I wasn't even aware of it. So people who donate blood are keeping you alive. Yeah,
exactly, and that's the importance of blood donations, and hats off to anyone who donates blood, because I mean, normally typically people think blood transfusions and emergency and sort of helping people who may have been in sort of car accidents and whatnot, but really there's the likes of me who actually keeps me alive. And if it wasn't for the people who give blood, I'm dependent on those guys who give blood every 4 weeks, and if there was a shortage of blood or whatnot, then unfortunately that could affect anyone with sort of blood disorders. So yeah, massive respect to anyone who sort of donates blood.
Now, you studied in Coventry, lived in Coventry, you've moved down the road to Birmingham, but you still work here. So Coventry and Warwickshire is a huge part of your life, and the work obviously in the hospitals here is a huge part of it. You're doing something quite different, really, Nabeel, in May. What are you going to do?
Yeah, so I'll be stepping into a boxing ring for the first time and sort of having my first boxing fight.
Right.
And,
okay.
Yeah.
Just before we go any further, I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a very good reason why, but you must have had medical clearance to do this, to be able to do it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's something that my consultant's not extremely happy about and over the moon, but definitely she said to me that I don't pose a further risk than any sort of other normal person. Obviously, as a medical perspective, they've had to highlight the ins and outs and the risks. But for me, anything in life there comes a risk and a great price. And so I've overlooked, I've looked at that very clearly with sort of medical team and whatnot. So that's been cleared and sort of I'm fit to go, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I mean, you could have chosen any number of things to do. You could have gone for a sponsored walk, I assume, and your consultant might have gone, great idea, but you've gone no boxing ring. Why? Why do you want to get in a boxing ring?
So, I mean, from a young age, I've always been passionate about boxing. Growing up, I've always watched boxing, always wanted to get involved. But growing up was difficult for me. I mean, I grew up and was always labelled as the ill one, and had a lot of sympathy around me, which, was sometimes great, but I always felt labelled. I felt like I couldn't take part in sports. I always was, the weakest or the slowest of the class. And I'm almost just sort of fulfilling that childhood dream. And now more research has come out about the illness, and I feel as though the only person that knows your body best and your health best is yourself. And you sort of, I'm able to manage my condition. And I feel as though I want to go back and fulfill that dream. And I think in order for me to make some noise and raise awareness, once people have started to realise that, I'm going into the ring and I do have a serious blood disorder and illness, it is starting to get a very big response. And this is exactly what I want. I want people to sort of understand what thalassemia is about, and not just this illness, any illness, and show people whatever they're struggling with, whether it's mental health, an illness, poverty, whatever they're going through in their life, whatever they put their head to, they can achieve it, and certainly make people understand that the impossible can be possible, and that's basically what I'm trying to do by stepping in the ring.
And is it important for you to get people to have a fresh look, really, at stereotypes that you talked about, being labelled as a kid as the ill one? Is it important for you to challenge some of that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's not such as proving anyone wrong, but making people understand that, in life, people are going to have illnesses, disabilities, but that shouldn't be a setback. That shouldn't be, a reason for them not to do something. I think it's definitely mind over matter, and as long as you feel as though you can do it in your mind, then so be it. Of course, within reason. But yeah, that's definitely it for me.
And I mean, you're doing this for those reasons, but you're going to be raising money as well. And actually, one of the things you're raising money for is a brand new technology which can help kids. Yeah.
So basically, as I said, I had my first blood transfusion when I was 3 months. And there's, loads of newborn babies and babies out there sort of still having blood transfusions at that age. So the blood transfusion involves the child to be cannulated, and unfortunately sometimes the baby's vein can't be found. So now there's sort of some new technology, which is almost like an infrared technology, which is worn by the baby, and then the consultant or the doctor cannulating the baby can then easily see the vein. You can imagine if the baby's vein can't be found, they have to have that blood transfusion. So sometimes, the parents could see that, newborn baby be cannulated 4 or 5 times before they see a vein. Yeah. And as a young parent myself now, my daughter, she's only 6 months old, and fortunately, she doesn't have the illness. But if I was to see her be cannulated 4 or 5 times every 3 to 4 weeks, it'd break my heart. So one thing I'm trying to do is raise money to hopefully have this kit in as many hospitals as I can. So, even if it's one hospital, it's one hospital that I'm helping, and a load of babies that I'm helping and parents that I'm helping. So it'll be a job well done for me.
Oh gosh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, when my eldest, he's 18 now, but when he was a baby, he was poorly, and watching them trying to find a vein was just horrendous, because all you want to do as a parent is stop that person from hurting your baby, and yet ultimately they have to do it. It's horrible. It's horrible. Gosh, more power to you to be able to get that done, because that would be an incredible thing to achieve. And raising money for the Thalassemia Society, Coventry Hospital, these are all amazing things. When are you in the ring?
So Saturday, 21st of May. So I'm fighting at Sport Connection, which is in Warwick. And the name of the show is Combat Sport League. So I'll be the main event on that card, hopefully on Saturday, 21st.
Oh my God, you're going to be the main event. That's have you practiced your ring walk?
Yeah, so that's one thing. I've been looking through YouTube, thinking, what am I going to walk out to? And whilst I've been recovering at home, I've been watching all the Rocky movies to get all the motivation. I can't wait to get back in the gym.
Oh my God. Well, listen, we're going to catch up with you again. I need to talk to you again, find out how the training's going. So we will definitely speak again ahead of that. And then by then you might have picked your ring walk tune and get yourself all ready. That's fab. Oh, Nabeel, it's been so lovely to talk to you. Thank you.
No problem. Just before I go, I just wanted to mention the UK Thalassemia Society, who's a charity. And I've been in touch with them since I was literally a baby. I mean, my mum was in touch with them, and they've sort of helped any sort of young parents or parents who have children sort of suffering from thalassemia. And also those are the guys who I'll be raising the money for, who then can give the funding to the hospital. So I just wanted a big shout out to them. And also the gym that I'm training at, Fitbox Gym in Birmingham, who've helped me through my journey and motivated me to get me where I am today. So thank you very much to all of those guys.
What a superstar you are. I can't wait to catch up with you again and find out how that training's going. Nabeel, take care. And thanks for sharing it with us on BBC CWR. Enjoy the training and get that tune picked.
The sound of the Sky Blues.
Coventry City 4.